What's good, everyone? Today is August 21st of 2023. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Derek, and in today's video, we're going to be discussing the Leagues Cup Final, which was won by Inter Miami, led by Lionel Messi, a new player, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. In this game, Messi won his 44th career trophy. And on this channel, we talk about the language of Gematria, a well-hidden component of numerology that shows how the world of news, sports, politics, and really the world in general is scripted. Now, whether or not you believe these games are rigged may be a different conversation, but no doubt at all whatsoever, there is a numerical code running in the background behind these games that helps decide the outcomes and the riddles or rituals that play out on television. In this video, we'll discuss how Miami's win with Lionel Messi was connected to the 2020 death of Diego Maradona, the very famous Argentine soccer player who also won a World Cup for the nation, just like Messi did back in December. As we've been discussing all year on this channel, there's also a significant skull and bones riddle in this game as well. Think about how the shootout to decide the game was won 10-9. And we'll talk about Yale University with its 10-9 date of establishment and how there's all this skull and bones coding in this game as well. So let's get started and talk about this bizarre game, which I think was one of the most entertaining soccer games I've ever witnessed. And a lot of this has to do with how it ended. The game went into penalty shootouts and ended up going into the 11th round, which meant that the two goalkeepers had to each take a penalty shot against one another, which is personally something I've never seen. Of course, I'm a goofy American. I don't watch a whole lot of soccer, or football as it's called internationally. But I want to talk about how this is all playing out by the numbers. And we start with Inter Miami, the team that won the Leagues Cup over Nashville SC on Saturday night. Notice how using that alphabetic ordinal cipher, Inter Miami has a value of 111, and this digit 1 is what we're going to be looking at for the first part of this decode. Consider how Lionel Messi, the greatest of all time, famously wears number 10 for Argentina, as he has worn for most of his club career as well, including in Miami. Now, number 10 was also the number adorned by Diego Maradona, who won the 1986 World Cup for Argentina. If you search on my YouTube channel, you'll find several videos on the connection between these two players that I've done in the past. In 2020, I made 2 videos after Maradona died. The first one discussing the Eclipse Code, which will also be a topic of this video, and then another one the day later talking about how it was foreshadowed by a show called The Umbrella Academy. And of course, consider how the shadow of the moon as cast on the earth is called the umbra. So big riddles there, and then I did another video when Messi was signed to Miami to talk about the numerology with that. So Messi's number 10 connected to Maradona. Well, in this game, Messi squared off against Nashville SC, who had the best player in the league until Messi's arrival, Hani Mukhtar, who also wears number 10, the reigning league MVP. In the reverse reduction method of Gematria, where the alphabetic order is flipped backwards and then reduced, every double-digit number down to a single digit prior to adding it to the equation. If we were to use this method, Hani Mukhtar's full name equals 110. He plays for the team in Nashville, Tennessee. With the S exception, this equals 100. Again, all of these with ones. Now, during this game, Lionel Messi scored in the first half with a sensational goal that was his 10th of the tournament. So think about this, 10 goals in 7 games since joining the team, just like his number 10. Well, using the standard ordinal cipher of Gematria, numbered 1 through 26, the name Diego Maradona sums to 107. And here we had Messi scoring his 10th goal in 7 games of the tournament. Now, Nashville would tie the game in the second half, but with just seconds remaining in the game, Miami threatened to win as forward Leonardo Campana kind of gave a little pitch up to the net and then tried to dive and kick the ball in, but he hit the post from inches away. And this was a wild moment. And notice how Leonardo Campana's full name also has Gematria of 100, linking him to this 10 code. So what this means is that the final score at the end of regulation was 1-1. Again, representing this 11 that we've been seeing. In the alphabetic order, Leagues Cup sums to 110. With the 0 ignored, as it customarily is in numerology, this represents 11. The game was decided in penalties, which sums to 101. And the shootout lasted 11 rounds. And consider how each team missed 1 of their first 10 shots. This meant that each team's goaltender had to take a penalty kick. And notice how goaltender has this ordinal value of 101. The MVP of this game, and also best goalkeeper of the tournament, was Drake Callender. And you have to appreciate the name Calendar, as we'll be looking at many alignments on the Gregorian calendar very shortly. But notice how Drake Callender wears number 1 for the team. And when you write out Drake in the Latin or Agrippa's key method of Gematria, the cipher I consider to be most significant in this whole study, the name Drake, again, 100. Now, if you measure from Lionel Messi's birthday to Drake Callender's, you find that they were born 10 years apart. Drake Callender even born in October, the 10th month. Drake Callender was born 10 months after Elliot Panico, who was the opposing goalkeeper for Nashville SC, who had to take the other penalty shot. And we'll mention Yale University in the next part of this decode. Messi won the World Cup exactly 10 lunar phases before Yale University turns 322 years old. But to finish this post off, I want to talk more about the number 11. Now, 11 squared is 121, and notice how in various ciphers, goalkeeper and goalies both equal 121. So does the name Panico, the goalie who missed the last penalty shot. Meanwhile, the 11th prime number is 31, and notice how Lionel Messi was 310 days before his birthday on the night of this game. Well, this number, 310, is found in the Gematria of Diego Maradona when using prime numbers. Prime numbers is a mathematical cipher, seen in the top left here. Uses the standard alphabetic order, but only prime numbers are assigned to this method. And Diego Maradona was even born on the 30th of October, written 30/10, a lot like the number 310. But the number 11 is significant to Miami for another reason. Using the reverse cipher of Gematria, there's only 2 numbers that sum to 99. That would be 11 and 44. The only 2 numbers with 99 Gematria. And 99 is an important number to soccer in Miami. Both soccer and Miami have this matching Gematria with 11. Now, as I mentioned at the top of the stream, this was Lionel Messi's record 44th career trophy. And 44 is a big number to Lionel Messi. First of all, consider how he is from Argentina. And using the standard reduction or Pythagorean method of Gematria, Argentina is 44. Now he plays for Major League Soccer. MLS equals 44. And the team he plays for, Inter Miami CF, has Gematria of 404 with reverse caps. This cipher very similar to the reverse ordinal, but mixes capital letters in with small letters. Now, there was only one goal scored in this game by the opponent, Nashville SC. Fafa Picault, a Frenchman, I suppose. Notice how the name Picault sums to 44. And Picault was born exactly 44 months, with the end date included, after Lionel Messi. But why is this number so significant to Messi, 44? It's not just because Argentina has this value, but in the standard alphabetic order, Lionel Andres Messi, his full name, sums to 193, which is the 44th prime number. So how appropriate. A big numeric riddle for Messi winning number 44. You gotta love it. So next up, I want to talk about how this is connected to the death of Diego Maradona, who died suddenly at the age of 60. And in the months following his passing, there were many news stories about his family claiming that he was murdered, and that whatever condition he had should not have been fatal. And you do have to wonder, it's hard to think of a bigger figure in sports history in Argentina than Maradona. You'd think he'd get great medical care. But I'm not a doctor. I'm just here to share the numbers. So let's do that. Saturday's game against Nashville fell 997 days after the death of Diego Maradona in November of 2020. Using trigonal numbers, or triangular, this is another mathematical cipher that's based on the alphabetic order, but uses associated triangular numbers to produce a pretty large result. Notice how Nashville SC has this value of 997. The MVP of this game was goaltender Drake Callender. And notice how Drake Callender was born in the year 1997. But more importantly is that his birthday is October 7th, written 10/7. And once again, Diego Maradona summing to 107, just like Messi scoring his 10th goal in 7 games. The thing with Diego Maradona, however, is that his name is littered with sacrifice numbers. 107 is the reverse reduction value of ritual sacrifice. In that same method, sacrifice sums to 62. Using the standard Pythagorean method, Diego Maradona sums to 62. The 62nd prime number is 293, directly related to 62. And on the date of this game, Maradona would have been 62 years, 293 days old. And then we get this big battle with the goalkeeper who ended up winning MVP. Well, notice how goalkeeper also sums to 293. Next up, I want to look at the establishment date of Inter Miami, which was founded by David Beckham, another famous international player who unexpectedly signed with Major League Soccer back when he was a professional. Inter Miami was founded on January 29th of 2018. Now, if you measure from that date to the date that Miami won their first major trophy in MLS, we find it was 67 months later. And actually, it looks like I messed this date up. It's actually January 29th, not the 19th. So this is the 67th month since the team was founded. Notice how both Lionel and Maradona sums to 67 using the alphabetic order. Now, the number 67 is also connected to sacrifice. The phrase total solar eclipse, human sacrifice, and blood sacrifice all sum to 67 in standard reduction. Now, the number 67 is another prime number. You'll see here it's the 19th prime number. And this is significant because every 19 years on the same date, quite often, there's a solar eclipse, exactly 19 years after another one. And the phrase solar eclipse equals 190. Well, back in the year 2020, there was a very significant total solar eclipse that peaked over the nation of Argentina, Messi's homeland. And I could talk for days about this eclipse. This was actually the same exact date that the FDA approved its first coronavirus vaccine. The corona, the name of the upper atmosphere of the sun, which is only visible during a total eclipse. Well, it just so happened that Diego Maradona died 19 days before that eclipse over his home nation. The number 19 is connected to the kill code. In Hebrew Gematria, the word kill equals 19 and 244. The 244 is important because 19 also equals 244 in Latin Gematria. Using the reverse methods, the name Diego Maradona sums to both 244 and 73. Miami won the Leagues Cup final 244 days after Messi won the World Cup, and 73 days after the GOAT announced that he would be officially playing for Miami this season. 73 is the Gematria sum of both sacrifice and ritual sacrifice. This game was played in Nashville, Tennessee, which also equals 73. Now, another significant number of ritual human sacrifice is 33. The number 33 shares 895 Latin Gematria with ritual human sacrifice. Not only was Lionel Messi 33 years old when Maradona died, but he was also 154 days after his birthday. That's the ordinal sum of ritual sacrifice, 154. Finally, Diego Maradona has matching 332 Gematria with blood sacrifice, 332. Well, this final was played 33 weeks and 2 days before the next Great American Total Solar Eclipse. Again, these two eclipses, called the twin eclipses here in the United States. The 2020 eclipse in Argentina actually occurred at the exact halfway point between these eclipses. It was a span of 1,212 days after the first and 1,212 days before the second. This eclipse in 2020 also began brown lunation number 1212. And in Sumerian Gematria, which is the alphabetic order times 6, total solar eclipse equals 1212. It's also 202 ordinal, and this happened in the year 2020. So, extremely significant alignments. You can see why something as major as the COVID vaccine would be approved on a date for like this. It's just wild. So when we're talking about solar eclipses, as I so often do on this channel, it's important to understand the significance of the Saros cycle. Now, each eclipse belongs to a different Saros series, and each eclipse from the same series is separated by 223 synodic months. Using the standard alphabetic order, skull and crossbones equals 223. And think about how the Skull and Bones Society uses the number 322 on its emblem, the inverse of 223. Well, Skull and Bones is headquartered at Yale, and here in the year 2023, Skull and Bones will be turning 322 years old. Its anniversary is on October 9th, which is the 282nd day of the year. 282 is the Latin value of Diego Maradona, who this game was a clear tribute to. Now, if you measure from Miami's Leagues Cup victory to Yale's 322nd anniversary, you get 1 month and 20 days. Using the standard ordinal method, Inter-Miami CF sums to 120. And in Latin, it equals 322. Now, in order to win the game, Messi and Callender both had to shoot the ball past Elliot Panico. And notice how Elliot Panico was born on November 18th, which means he celebrates his birthday on the 322nd day of the year. And when Yale University turns 322 years old, he'll be 322 months old. Panico plays for Nashville SC. And check out how Nashville SC has remarkable geometric overlap with both Yale and Yale University. 43, 65, 173, and 736. Just an extreme supermatch in Gematria with this team. In the alphabetic order, Nashville SC sums to 124. Yale's anniversary falls 124 days after Messi announced that he was going to Miami. Now, Messi won the trophy after watching the goalkeepers duke it out at Geodis Park in Nashville. And notice how Lionel Messi has matching 51 Gematria with goalkeepers, Geodis Park, and Nashville. And this game was played 51 days before Yale's anniversary. Once again, Yale was established on October 9th, or 10-9. And this brings us to the score of the shootout. In 11 rounds of penalties, Miami won 10-9. Just like Yale's anniversary. On top of that, this game was also played 109 days after May 2nd, which is the birthday of Miami founder David Beckham. Yale was founded in the year 1701, which has the digits 171. Messi announced his move to Major League Soccer 171 days after he won the World Cup. And in Ordinal, Major League Soccer equals 171. They call him the GOAT, which equals 171 with Fibonacci numbers. Now, the 171st prime number is 1019. And think about how there was a president from Skull and Bones, George W. Bush, in office during the 9/11 attacks. The date written 11/9. Well, again, this is the 171st prime number, 1019. Yale University is located in New Haven, Connecticut. And in English Standard Gematria, New Haven sums to 1019. The two goalies who were involved in the shootout were born 10 months and 19 days apart. Finally, Messi's World Cup victory fell 295 days before Yale's special anniversary, the 322nd. In Ordinal, when you write the number 223 as it's spelled, it sums to 295. And, of course, the same letters in the number 322, which is also 295. Messi is the GOAT, and notice how GOAT is a perfect match with Yale in the 4 base methods of Gematria. All right, everyone, that'll do it for this video. Once again, check the links down in the description below if you want more information on the death of Maradona, how it connects to Messi, and that special Argentina eclipse in the year 2020. Peace, love, God bless. We'll talk to y'all next time. See ya.